All right, so we got the beautiful picture. How about that? I'm double checking myself to make sure. Rosalie, good morning. All right, check me. Dave DeBellius, thank you for being here. Check me just to make sure you're doing extra work. This is bonus credits. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a high sign. Typically, I've been told in the past with my loud voice that people can hear me without a microphone. But, oh, thank you, Rosalie. You guys rock. Happy Friday. Welcome to the 5-day Blitz to optimize your communications by leveraging your voice. This is day 5. Do not sweat it if you weren't here before. We're not doing pop quizzes. I don't know that I'd be prepared, but the fact is we make this easy. What's this all about? Fact of the matter is what we're doing each day is dropping 3 of my top tips. So far we've done 12. We got at least 3 more fired up here. 3 top tips to help you optimize your communications by leveraging your voice. And the truth of the matter is what we've done is we're taking optimizing your communications to work this week. This doesn't mean it doesn't apply to personal. It doesn't mean it doesn't apply to important relationship conversations, but I'm focusing on business this week. And it's Friday. So for your Friday afternoon, if you can maybe have a more authentic conversation, not just in what you've prepared, because that's the whole point of this. It's not just your content. I'm not here to replace your content. In fact, I want you to be laser sharp with knowing what you want to say, knowing the way that you want to say it. We've covered some of this week. Rosalie, don't be sweating. Honest to God, we're going to make this so easy. If there are any questions, I'd give you all the answers because I would need to know them too. But here's the thing. As I'm going today, it's 3 more tips that you could use, tweaks, pivots, so that as you've spent so much time learning work materials for your colleagues, for your teams, if you're leading teams, if you aspire to lead a team, if you are trying to motivate a team, if you're part of the team and you want to move upward, or if you are a key member of an organization, a C-suite executive, and you're concerned about keeping your seat at the table, these proven tips are what are going to get you to at least have a more authentic conversation so that people are buying in because they feel it coming from your voice. So, hey, I've danced around for over 5 minutes. I don't like to mislead anybody. So let's get right to a tip, shall we? Number 1, first off, I'm going to ask the question I always ask. Here's our first question. This is the same question I ask at every webinar, but it's simply a reminder. Keep asking yourself, have you ever had a conversation, a presentation, a basic encounter in business where you felt like you were crushing it or doing well or muddling through or getting by, but you received feedback and you weren't counting on it? You were surprised and you couldn't figure out why. Anyone get that feeling? Okay, well, I have. I'm trying to help you alleviate that because I encountered it. Thank you, Rosalie. You got it. Well, I'm telling you, not only me too, but me too a lot. So today's topic, I'm calling it Finish Strong. You see a photo here. Part of finishing strong is our own resilience. It comes through in your voice. This photo that I have here, this afternoon, I'm headed out of town. I started this webinar a little bit early today because I'm leaving to head out of town, but I wanted to honor my own commitment to do the 5-day Blitz. And I get to meet these 2 people and a bunch of other crazy people. So this movement for recovery, the guy in the photo on the right, his name is Charlie Engle. I don't know if you know him. He has written a best-selling book called The Running Man. He tells one incredible story. He's run the Sahara Desert. And I mean that Sahara Desert. Ran the Sahara Desert. Went to jail for a few years, sober. It is a crazy story, and he's one of the most riveting public speakers that you're ever going to hear because he's so unassuming. He doesn't have the announcery voice, but he is spellbinding by the sound of his voice and authenticity. It's the resilience. It's the getting back up, folks. And that person on the left, her name is Hillary Phelps. Both of those people have been on my podcast. And Hillary Phelps is Charlie's publicist. And she's also become my friend. And I get to see her this weekend, too. You may recognize the last name. So the Phelps part and the swimming part might ring a bell. It's that family. They are also going to do the following, which is freaking me out, but I'm excited. I did this last year, this movement for recovery. So Charlie is celebrating 31 years sobriety. And so what he does, he's nuts. He's freaking nuts. He runs, moves, and mostly it'll be running for 31 consecutive hours. 31. So I go last year, right? It is amazing, Rosalie. And the fact is, I go last year and I figure I'm going to hang for an hour. You know, I want to salute Charlie. I want to meet him, you know, maybe get my book signed, whatever. And I loved him. There were other ultra runners that showed up. So they're all running all day, all night long. It is hot. It's gross. Bugs. Now, did I run for 31 hours? God, no. They made fun of me on Sunday. It was a Saturday and Sunday thing. So they run through the night and they've got tents and they're not sleeping in the tents. And I come back Sunday and somebody literally yells out to me, "I smell soap." I'm like, well, that's a good thing, right? Well, not for them, because that showed that I literally went home. I went back to the hotel and slept for the night. So I was resilient in my own way. I participated Saturday and Sunday. Both of these people celebrate a lot of sobriety. You don't have to. But why I say that is it's their resilience, getting knocked back and then rising. One of the things that comes up in terms of your voice and how you speak is you're in individual conversations. And I know I've covered this during the week. That reminder that there's never a totality of needing to have your whole life on display, but you might want to be bringing nonsense back. And so the 3 tips today have everything to do with standing strong, honoring your authenticity, honoring you, because it comes out in your voice. Let me give you an example. And one of those, and I'm going to call it the first tip, is honoring yourself, honoring your life story. Okay? Honoring. Now, I'm going to, listen, you're going to see a photo and think, oh God, he's not going to tell us life story. Not today. Not today. But what I'm going to say is this. This guy, that's my high school photo. And do you like my David Cassidy flared hair? This guy absolutely was unable to speak at all. I mean, I always had what people called a nice voice, and that's fine. But that's not what this challenge, what I teach. Damn right, look at me, Rosalie. Scary is what it is. Scary. But the truth is, I had to get that. That photo was at my high school graduation because we were not allowed to have our hair below our collar. So they just stopped enforcing it by the time we put up the graduation photos. But here's the thing. The shy and awkward part, the people pleaser part. I'm a guy that got knocked back. I've been arrested a couple times in my life, technically 3. I closeted, couldn't be comfortable with myself. I was a terrible alcoholic. And Mike Plishka, there you go. I am so damn happy that you are here. Thank you for showing up, please. And I know that you're a people pleaser, Rosalie, only because you've told me. You don't carry yourself that way, right? Mike Plishka, this looks like right the Bobby Clark era of the Flyers. But Rosalie, if you didn't say to me, folks, I know Rosalie, and I'm a massive fan. If I didn't know that about Rosalie, I wouldn't get that. Rosalie is great because she shares that. She honors her authenticity, which is what this is about. Do the long-term work, but honest to God, when you walk into a room, I used to really worry that someone was going to uncover a deep, dark secret. Well, we all have them. I just shared a couple. Like I said, again, I've been in recovery now for 22 and a half years, but flunking out of college a couple of times, tempted to take my own life at least once, serious once, actually twice. And I say that because that baggage often comes along with you. And then you're in the middle of, say, a 2 o'clock meeting at work. And you're dragging all that back. You're dragging all of this ridiculous history, and people can hear the quivering in your voice. I'm going to give you an example, and then I'll give you the tip. Here's the setup for this specific tip, honoring your own authenticity. I remember I literally, yeah, Harold, good morning. Thanks for being here. Yay, baby. 21 years. Good on you. And thanks for showing up. And thank you. And I acknowledge you. I acknowledge everybody who has shown up in person. This is great. So here's the deal. I remember I had literally been in a major car accident just a couple decades ago. Major car accident. No one was hurt. Thank God. Not that I had anything to do with it. But I was certain I was going to lose my license. I was certain I was going to go to jail. And I switched jobs back to a former job because I was afraid. Now, I loved that job and I loved the opportunity, but here's why I'm bringing this up in regards to your voice. I remember there were people at that former company that I returned to, and I returned there because I thought it was a safe space. If all those things that I thought were going to happen, I was going to lose my car and lose my license and go to jail. Well, I'm in a major media radio organization, sales-wise, and I've got to be delivering sales presentations, and I sound like a basket case. So I leave that company and go back to my former company because I figure it would be a safer play, right? Really foolish thinking, but thank God that was a couple decades ago. So I go back, and I remember I'm with a couple of the salespeople. I'm leading a sales meeting, and I'm nothing but jagged edges, frayed nerves, and every time I'm speaking, I'm like frenetic, like my energy is all way high or way low or tense and crazy. That happens. So here's the problem. People, if they don't know your backstory, if they don't know the exact situation of why you sound a certain way, are going to guess something, and they most often are going to guess wrong. Here's literally how I know that was taking place. One of the former salespeople that were there, I'm leading a sales meeting, and she literally says in front of the group, "Why do you sound so angry?" It's funny now, wasn't funny then. Here's my response, and I quote, close as I can remember, right? It's been a long time. What I can remember was this. I literally say, "I'm not angry." You could see the looks on the people's faces. It's almost like they had like a stiff breeze. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to call it passion. That's what we're going to do. But instead, it was absolute craziness. So, folks, here's the thing. You want to literally bring yourself out of that situation because, again, the 2 o'clock meeting, the 3 p.m. sales call, the opportunity to present, to help a family, to get promoted, whatever it happens to be, They don't know your backstory, and it's great that they don't. They don't need to. I'm going to talk about getting personal in a moment, but they don't need your life story. They don't need a PowerPoint presentation. I apologize in advance that I showed you mine. They don't need that. But here's what they need. They need you in the room. So the other day, we were talking about the Navy SEALs breathing technique, the 16 seconds. If you weren't there, that's okay. I'm not going to redo it, but the whole thing takes 16 seconds of boxed breathing. 16 seconds. And you can literally bang it out. I want to add one more part. Here's your tip for today. Remember, you deserve to be in the room. No one says you deserve to close the deal or you deserve the promotion. You might, but you deserve to be in the room. We're going to talk about equality. We're going to literally talk about the sense of your own inclusion. Look, for me, how about that? That was in 2017. I really have to tighten up to get back to that guy. But a lot of things have taken place. That 27-plus year career in broadcast ad sales, I talked about the sobriety. Here's what else has changed. Doing the long-term work gets you self-fulfillment. It gets me the chance to be here with you today. My presentation skills, speaking ability seemed to skyrocket, and the results did too. Because technically, I had nothing to hide. Now, again, I don't drop every bit of that on every single meeting. Nobody's got that kind of time or interest. But here's what you can do. You want to diffuse that. You're the best, Rosalie. Thank you. You want to diffuse that situation. These things are bubbling in your head. Part A is going back to the 16-second breathing. Before you walk into a room, give yourself 16 seconds. But I'm going to give you one more example. And I call it the body of evidence. This is the science that was based upon, I'm calling him my colleague. He's also my therapist, and he also works with the University of Pennsylvania, many of their sports teams, baseball, lacrosse, basketball, men's and women's, and Rutgers. And it's called the body of evidence. What's the body of evidence? It's the reminder that you've done something good in your life. You're not this fraud. You're not this, they're going to find out I'm a train wreck. You've done something good. Why I say you deserve a seat at the table. You deserve to be there. You deserve to be heard. So what can you do about that? So for me, one of the things that you can do, one of the things that makes sense is think about it for a second. Just think about it off the top of your head. Don't overthink it. Just off the top of your head. Have you done anything cool in your life? Anything. Anything at all. If you've done something cool in your life, drop it in the chat. If you feel it's too personal, don't. But this is for you, not for me. Exactly, Rosalie. Exactly. We all have. I'm going to make a suggestion. The simple suggestion is just have one at the ready. This is an example, and again, I know this looks so vain, but I apologize. I do like this. Don't have it often. I happen to run a marathon in Berlin, Germany in 2017. So there's no shot that I'm doing 31 hours with these goofballs in Maryland. There's no shot, and I love them to death. They become really good friends, but there's no shot I'm doing that. I'm going to bed, and I'm going to enjoy my my thick, fluffy towels at the hotel. But this guy ran a marathon 26.2 in Berlin, Germany. And I was supposed to be with someone else, and they were somewhere else. So I literally ran in another country alone. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to hear running stories. I gotcha. Me neither. Unless they're my own. But here's why I bring it up. It can be anything. You've done something cool. You're planting that seed. Like for me, I do the 16-second breathing technique. And I'm thinking about, oh my God, I was running through the streets of Berlin. So a friend of mine's in Berlin right now, and she's sending me back pictures, and I'm getting the mental recollections. I'm running through the streets of Berlin, and I'm running, and I'm like, what am I doing here? And I finished. I still remember literally dancing across the finish line. Doesn't matter what place I came in. But they were there for me. And I remember dancing across the finish line. It was a Pink song that was on, and I'm jumping, and I'm literally dancing and crying like a weirdo, right? I know one. Can I say climb Camelback Mountain? That's a couple, right? And now that's serious cool, right? Zip line in the canyon, skated in the lake, swam with dolphins. Okay. I didn't do any of those. I am blown away by that. I am thrilled. But here's the thing, this centers you. When you're ready to speak to somebody, ask for money, ask for a raise, ask for a promotion, lead a team, contribute in a team meeting. We talked about collaboration before, how it's important that your voice is heard, that you're not shouted down, but that you don't shut down. One of the ways to do that is to remember this body of evidence. It's really helpful. You can't imagine. It takes no time at all. And what the exact example is doesn't matter. Take 1 minute to get yourself together, okay? And then your voice centers too. I can't even talk about it. I'm bringing it up. Rosalie was one of the most impressive things in my life was to watch Rosalie come back from climbing Camelback. Here's why I say come back. I couldn't finish. I'm back at the house in the air conditioning. She climbs up one of the hardest climbs in Arizona and comes back while I'm in the house allegedly doing yoga. So I am blown away. So here's the thing. Use this. The body of evidence, the breathing technique to center you, to calm your voice. What does it do? Calms your breathing down. You want the breathing to work with you. You want to sound more confident? Allow more oxygen to go through. There's your bonus tip. You want to sound more authentic? Allow more oxygen to travel through. So how do you do that? Sounds hard. I'm not a scientist. How do you do that? Expand your body a little bit. We talked about it yesterday, the physicality, but also remember your breathing. You figure it's like, I don't have time to work on my breathing during a presentation. I don't want you to focus on yourself that much, but just try this before you walk in. You want to get your breathing to work with you. All right. When you're tense, you're tight, you breathe less. When you're breathing less, you sound distracted. Open it up. Just open it up. Remember, you deserve to be in that damn room. Okay. I love these contributions. Ain't it funny? And are still alive because it's kind of important. But the sense of, I might have not been breathing when that person said, "Why are you so angry?" Or I might have just been angry and was trying to mask it. Who knows? But what I will say is this, that it's really important to use the tools so that you can focus on the client, the team, the family, whoever you're with, to try to move ahead, to try to help somebody, to come from contribution, to sell a beautiful piece of art. Those are the sorts of things that can help tremendously, okay? Now, I'm going to go to tip. Here's your next tip of the day. We've done 2. Remember, like I said again, it's the sense of you deserve to be in the room, use the body of evidence, and I'm adding this. I want you to feel comfortable with your authenticity. In fact, I want you to take the lead with your authenticity. In every communication, I want you to be able to have other people come off of the vibe so they feel comfortable too. Why do you think it matters that everyone, or as many people that are in the encounter, if it's one client, if it's a group meeting, if it's somebody coming in, as I said, to buy your artwork, if it's somebody that, if you're listing a home, helping a family, why is it important that everybody is coming from a place of transparency? Why would you think? People respond and engage more, first off, when you allow somebody to be authentic, when you allow someone to feel that they don't need to know every single answer, that they don't have to be on their game so intently, right? People damn right can sense it too. I got you. And oh, yes, 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 Dave. Yes, indeedy. Transparency establishes credibility. That's exactly right. And the fact is, people can sense where you're coming from. Here's what I would say. How do you do that with your voice, right? It's one thing to say, hey, everybody, I want you to feel comfortable and authentic. Here's another that you can use. A really good tip that I would say is this. If you sound too breathy, I'm going to give you a couple of quick hacks here. Roger Love, I follow, and he goes through this big 5 in terms of tips of pitch, pace, tone, melody, volume. Pitch, pace, tone, melody, volume. Easy things. Look, just bear a couple of those out. You're going to be like, oh, that's a lot to remember. You don't need to remember any of it. These are just the references of where this is coming from. How do you make other people want to be authentic? How do you get to take the lead? It's your degree of comfort, but they're going to hear it and feel it. So here, for instance, if you're the type that's too breathy because you feel like you're a little, people might suspect you're holding something back. They might suspect a lot of things. But have you heard people in a conversation where they sound kind of quiet and they're kind of talking to you? It sounds to me like they're tiptoeing. And I'm interpreting, okay, you're holding something back. I might want to hold something back too. Well, what's the easiest way? Use a little bit of air, use a little bit of volume. Bring your voice to a normal level of confidence. So the people are like, okay, they're putting everything on the table here. So I guess I can too. This is your $1 million bonus, and you're going to laugh because it's so stupidly easy. Put a legit smile on your face. Would it kill you? Would it kill you? To think that you got to come in as the big closer and I'm ready to close. It's like, okay. So I now feel like I have to have my guard up. What can you do with your voice? It should sound friendly, warm, and engaging. People make decisions on emotion, not on your PowerPoint slides. They don't. They buy on emotion. They buy because they want to. They make decisions because they want to. They promote people because they like them. They give you another meeting simply because it's like, oh, they sound cool. They sound cool. And so with that being said, it's like, give them the chance to like you. All right? Yeah. Listen, that's all it is. It's a simple inflection. How can I help you? I guess, right? How can I help you? You want to sound as if you want to include somebody and you want to use your voice to literally say, I want you to feel open. Mirror the neurons. And by the way, I bring Michael Plishka on for all of the science and creativity because I barely passed biology in high school. So I need real knowledge. And that's why Michael Plishka is here. Plus that, and I love him. But all of that is to say, damn right, it's the neurons. So people talk about mirroring behavior, right? Well, just allow it, but don't look like you're imitating them. So if you have a stern voice, sometimes I'm told I sound too announcery, and I think I'm just talking, but I have to catch myself. So how can I sound a little less announcery and telling you what to do? Add a little bit of melody. I don't mean sing. I can't. But what I can say is add a little bit of smile, and the smile will almost automatically put the levity in your voice. The smile puts the melody there. You sound friendlier. Let me give you an example of someone who I watched handle a question better than anyone I've ever seen. And I've seen people do this. I've just never seen it done as well. So I got a friend of mine. He's a realtor. He works for Serhant um, Properties in Philadelphia, PA. His name is Michael Prince, and he is one of my better friends. I love him dearly, and I am really impressed with his professionalism. Michael was hosting an open house, and I was there. I had just started. I was playing around with real estate. And so he said, hey, you want to hang out with the open house? It was near where I lived. And so, sure, why not? Why not? So I did. And someone asked him a question. Now, to me, when I'm not feeling on my game, the last thing I want you to do is ask me something I don't know. You'll hear it. Oh, I think it's 2,000 square feet. And all of those goofy upsell, uptext that you don't want. Here's the way I responded. It was a detailed question on the house. What it was doesn't matter. But really, it was the way he said it. And it was a confidence and a friendliness. Hey, I don't know, but I promise you I'll get back to you this evening. I'll look it up. I'll make a call. I'll get back to you this evening. Talk about diffusing a situation. Not to mention, here's what I'm talking about where I said, you are encouraging somebody to be more authentic. He took the lead. Hey, I don't know. It doesn't make him stupid. It doesn't make him sound stupid, but literally he took the lead. So knowing that, the prospects, the people that were showing up were like, oh, all right, that's great, because here's what I was thinking. And then they go on to explain what they liked and don't like. Wide open. I don't know that I'd be comfortable with a place with only one bathroom. We had X bathrooms and blah, blah, blah. And again, the details don't matter. But they opened up somebody to feel more comfortable and confident. So that's what I mean about you taking the lead. Use your body of evidence. Use the fact that you belong in that room and speak accordingly and encourage others to do so. To me, if you can do those three things today or the next opportunity, you don't have to do them today, whatever comes up. Harold, I agree. Your authentic self is important. You open the door to conversation. By the way, Harold's got a beautiful art gallery in Philadelphia, PA, and you might not even have to open the door because Harold sometimes will help and be outside with some of the artwork, but it's easy enough to just open the door and come on in. You damn right open the door to conversation. I love that. So, Dave, I'm seeing your clarification, and now let me reread to make sure I understood you properly. And I'm going to tell you that's another bonus tip, which is literally phrase someone's question or concern out loud as if you want to better understand, not like you're afraid of the question. So I'm going to try it and use it as a vocal hack right now. Right. So I just want to make sure I understood correctly. And what I see is what you meant was you were emphasizing to someone that you generally want to help and hear then more than hearing yourself. And Dave, I got you. Thank you. The last thing anyone needs in this world is to be sold at or sold to or told what to do. They're all kind of put into the same bucket now. You're not going to tell me what to do. You're just not. And so because people are on guard and defensive, this is why I continually talk about the fact of why your voice matters. I literally have been in 20 trillion, that might be an exaggeration, 20 trillion sales meetings, sales calls, sales presentations. I've curated courses. I've led meetings. I've been at meetings. I've had people speak to me. I've had people talk at me. Here's what I've come to learn after a fair amount of time. People do what they want to do. You absolutely are not going to strong arm somebody into anything. And all of the material that you're so comfortable, that you need to be comfortable with, we touched upon this literally multiple times this week. None of these hacks replace preparation. Remember the Russell Wilson quote, preparation is the separation. None of these replace the preparation. You don't improv well if you don't know what you're talking about. So it's allowing you, all of these vocal tips allow you to be fully engaged in a conversation so that you do not have to think about what's going on. What movie is that? I'm guessing it may be, but I don't know. But here's the thing, folks, this is why it's so important for you to understand that I am rooting for you. I firmly believe in the fact that everyone speaks authentically in certain circumstances. It's a reminder to do it more. It's a reminder to trust yourself. The quick recap again, this is about resiliency. This is about getting up. This is about not just getting up in life, but getting up during a conversation. Getting up. And that to me, that was the last of the tips, which is the getting up is handling a question or objection honestly, and not being petrified that someone's playing a game of gotcha, even if they are. Allow your voice to win the day. Do your homework, do the prep, have the relationships, and optimize your communications by knowing that your voice matters. So guess what? We just wrapped up the 5-day Blitz, folks. I am over the moon excited. Hey, I'm going to offer two things. Number one, I'm going to let you know that next week I am going to do a recap of each of the 5 days. I'm just going to roll them into one session. But as a reminder, what we covered each of the 5 tips in regards to what I called managing up, down, and sideways. When you're in a company, are you the boss? Are you the subordinate? Are you working with different departments? Do you need cooperation? Are someone trying to get cooperation from you? We talked different tips and tricks to handle all of those things. The second, clarity. It's one thing to know your stuff, but it's quite another to sound like you know your stuff. You need to sound like an authority, but you don't need to pretend to be one. How do you sound clear? That's all it means. How do you sound clear so that your teams will want to work with you? People might want to elevate you. People may want to buy from you. People might want to include you. All those things. The third day, I talked about speaking like a boss. I like the terminology, but speak like a boss. Whether you're speaking in front of an audience, like I've been lucky that I've gotten a chance to do, speaking to someone on a podcast that I'm lucky enough that I've been able to do, speaking in front of team meetings or client meetings, speak like a boss. You sound like you know your stuff. You're including people in conversations. People will think that you know your stuff because you sound like a boss. And then I talked about yesterday, the collaboration, or why go it alone? Why go it alone? Everyone is involved in something. We're all communicating together. To me, some of the most invigorating, galvanizing, and also frustrating times are when I'm in a group meeting. And what we were touching on were techniques so that everyone has a voice, everyone's voice is heard, and that you don't get shut out, shut down, overtalked. You get to be heard and included. Talked about welcoming. I'm sorry, let me say that better. We talked about welcoming, inviting, and including. And Dave DeBellius added engaging, and I'm like, hell yeah, and engaging. And so then, lastly, it's the resilience tips for staying in a conversation. not getting knocked back, not getting or staying down. Don't worry if you get knocked back. It's okay. Don't worry if you start to lose your voice. You'll get it back. Don't let it take you out. You deserve a seat at the table. You clearly do. And then when you realize you deserve that seat at the table, then you get the chance to optimize your communications and, more importantly, optimize your opportunity. So, folks, here's what I'm going to do. As I said, I'm offering two things. Number one was the recap that I just talked about. Number two, I just put a link in the chat. That's my Calendly link. Folks, I'm offering a 30-minute session with me. We can talk about whatever you want. I work with clients one-on-one. I work with clients at a group level. I've created an online digital course. But one of the cool things about when I get to talk to somebody is we could be specific. You don't have to buy anything. It's not a sales call. And I promise you, I'm not going to sell at you. But we could talk about individualized things that are either impeding you in regards to communications, because I'll ask you before we wrap at this point. Do you think that you are at your peak in regards to the ways that you communicate? When you come home today, or let's say yesterday, when you came home yesterday, did you think you handled every communication skill well? I didn't. We are all a work in progress. So one of the things that I get to share is my experience, my time, but I keep learning from other people. You can know that so much of what I'm leaning into with the subject matter, with my experience, comes from other people. So know that, and know that we could talk about anything specific as it regards to communications. Maybe there's something I could do to help you with a situation. I'd be happy to. So you could click the link, and I promise you that, as I said again, an easy call. Yeah, we do, man. We do. And I look forward to joining you at that really VIP seat at the table. But you're damn right we do. And folks, I want to take a moment to do that. So it's the two things. Look in Facebook and LinkedIn. There will be a session next week. It's going to be a full recap. It's not going to go on terribly long. This is approaching 45 minutes, and this is the longest I've gone. So I'm telling you, 30 to 45 minutes, it will be out the door. And I promised everybody I'd have you out the door. It's Friday, but know this. Click the link if you want to talk to me. Watch for the recap next week. And I acknowledge all of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up for me, and means the world to me. Hey, here's how you can find me too. See that QR code? That's my website, which has got all my details and all my social media pages. Click the QR code if you want, or if you want to make it even easier, do this. Media.com will get you there too. But folks, I enjoy. I've enjoyed today tremendously. I have enjoyed all week tremendously. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to share with you. I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful Friday. Take care, folks. Be good to yourself. Bye-bye.